Hello, I'm Raziel, and so a fun hypothetical to have is always these versus competitions. Now, back in the old days of Facebook, Marvel group was actually really good with this. Like, there was always conversations about who could beat who and how. Like, it wasn't just like Superman versus Batman and Superman versus Goku. There's quite a lot of conversations going about who could beat who, and we talked about power levels and feats of strength, and actually, conversations would go on for days, if not weeks. And I'm not even joking. I remember lots of these conversations back in the days of Facebook when it was new, of the Marvel page literally being full of these conversations. And yes, the same conversation would literally drag on for weeks. And the type of, and the minutiae of detail people would go into for these debates was insane. They'd go comic book numbers, which when it happened, who beat who, and it's just fantastic. And always a good one was Hulk versus Juggernaut. That was always a conversation that would last for a while. And so these things are actually pretty good. I like these hypotheticals. Now, when it comes to Games Workshop, it always seems to be dead set answer that anyone fighting against Warhammer 40k universe is going to lose. Warhammer 40k always wins. Now, I believe this to be incredibly wrong. Mainly because 40k is not the OP IP that most people think it is. I mean, it's not even that grim and dark compared to some other IPs. Though I will go on record to say I'm a massive horror fan. So yeah, dark and grim dark is something I enjoy. So it would rarely rate up high with me just a dark science fiction part of science. Stephen King's universe or something like that. Nothing that grim, dark, or scary. Yeah, that's about as far as I'd go with it. And there are very few that go, a bit grim darker. One, for example, is Gears of War. If you were to talk which universe would be rich, the lack of massive world-killing machines and superhumans in Gears of War, Warhammer 40k would win. It's not a competition there. But if you talk grim dark and you go into the history of the planet that Gears of War is set on, Gears of War is far darker. It really is it's far more darker than 40k could be. See, they don't even enslave people they just let them walk out and die. If you're not under the cog rule, you're good as dead. They just don't care. You get no rights, nothing. You barely given a chance to exist. We can see this in Gears of War 2 with the Stranded. There is the absolute showing of how they treat people who do not go under the rule. They have nothing. And this is under warfare. This would also go under, normal, because they didn't, bow to the cogs, and they hated the cogs. They weren't given the safety that normal citizens would have. Now, in the Imperial, all citizens, whether or not they believe in the Emperor, they actually tend to have a lot of safety. Even the whole planets can fall against the Emperor, as long as they pay their tithes, are still under the safety of the Imperium and will be defended should they, get attacked by any outside source. But usually they find out there's a hierarchy and they get attacked, and the planet just turns back to the Imperium. The Stranded are just left to die. Now that's the cogs, that's the Gears of War. But what really got me thinking about this was Master Chief, again from the Halo series. Now this is again a conversation which can be had: who is stronger, Space Marines or Master Chief or the Spartans? Now I have come to realise that it's the Spartans. The Spartans are far stronger and far better than Space Marines, because when you have these conversations and you look at feats of strength and stuff like that, you've always got to look at what they can't do, or what they have, they have not lived. And the best example of this is we have Vulcan, the Primarch of the Salamanders. And of course, Vulcan plummeted to Macragge and died. And why is this important? Because Master Chief has also done the same. Master Chief was in his armor and survived. But he did not a scratch. Even in armor, he was not even scratched. Which means his armor withstood the entire heat of the re-entry and the concussive blow of landing. Vulcan died. So we know that Master Chief can survive something a Primarch can't. And of course, you would always debate that, of course, Master Chief has his luck. Now, there's luck, and then there is this just insane amount of winning the lottery 60 times in a row just to survive this. So we can actually state that Master Chief has survived something that will kill a Primarch. So there you go. First things first, that is something that happened, and we can compare the two quite easily. Okay? Now, there's, of course, the strength level. We don't really know the upper strength of a spaceman or a Primarch. We know that they can, stop a Titan, a Warhound from crushing them, but we've also got the Elephant in Halo, which can be flipped by a Spartan. Again, these are two comparable things, and we honestly, that's what we can see. But the one thing we do know is, of course, the surviving. Something that can kill a Primarch, Master Chief survived. And he survived quite handily. It's not like he had to wait a while and get better. He got up straight away. He hit the planet and got up. Vulcan died. His bones were smashed. And of course he did materialize with his hammer. So there you go. Now, of course, when it comes to world-destroying weapons, again, Halo has 40k build, 40k beat. Once again, and that's with the Halo rings. Now, those that don't understand, the Halo rings are far more powerful than anything in the 40k universe. Absolutely more powerful, because they have one job and one job only, and that's to destroy the universe. No, and that's not just the galaxy, that's the universe. Absolutely gone. Right? Dead, destroyed. Everything, all life, gone. There is nothing that strong in the 40k universe. And to survive the Halo blast, you have to be on a Halo ring. So you could have the Spartans and everything else surviving on a Halo ring. They last that, and everything's dead. All the Spartans are dead, or the Space Marines are dead, and everything else just dead. So there you go. And of course, these are arguments, and you have the Necron machine, which can snuff out planets just by, crushing them, or crushing the star. But you're going to have lots of it, and that's only the galaxy as well. That's only the galaxy. That's not the universe. This is the massive difference here. It's not the universe, it's the galaxy. The Halo rings destroy the universe, the Necron machine destroys the galaxy, planets and stars in the galaxy. Again, two massively different things, and Halo is far more OP. Now, that's Halo. So it's not that difficult. And what was the other one I was going to talk about? Oh yes, not Star Wars, because you have Starkiller Base, which could end the rule of the Imperium from the sector away. They wouldn't even know it was launched by the time it hit Terra. Just go straight across, because space is big. Space is very big. So there you go. And so this is just things. And I was going through. Now, Grimdark wise, yeah, 40k is far more Grimdark than Halo. Of course it is. You can't even question that. So there you go. This is just my thoughts. And there are many other. There's other examples where 40k is not the OP of one. Oh, the other example, of course, is Star Trek. Now, Star Trek I did want to talk about. It's not one I'm actually a big fan of. I'm not a big Trekkie. But there is the Borg. The Borg would be able to just walk the 40k universe because of their ability to adapt. Yes, the Tyranids have an ability to adapt. But the Tyranid ability to adapt takes a while. It doesn't take instantly. The Borg ability to adapt is almost instant. It will be able to adapt to a weapon within minutes of it being shot at. Now, if you look at that in a 40k perspective, that would mean it would be able to adapt to the Tyranid invasion faster than the Tyranid would be able to adapt to a Borg invasion. So even if they manage to get a Borg inside, they manage to assimilate a Borg into the hive mind, that Borg would be able to seriously, this is actually shown that they can do this when it gets back, to actually give the details of the Tyranids back to the Borg. Therefore, the Borg would be able to defend against the Tyranids straight away. The acid, nothing of the Tyranids would attack or touch the Borg. And that means no weapons of the Imperium, no weapons of the Necrons, none of them will be able to defeat the Borg. The Star Trek universe would be it would be a walk. It would be, again, it'd be an absolute walk in the 40k universe. And that's Star Trek. And that's not even considered a battle-heavy series. That's quite a philosophical series. And they would be able to walk the absolute pants out of 40k. So there you go. But that's just a couple. Gears of War is more grim dark. Halo and Star Trek wouldn't suffer from any sort of destruction from 40k. They would just be able to beat 40k. And there is many other more. And I'm not joking. I really start thinking about this a lot. Because these hypotheticals are good for your brain. Because it leads you to be critically think about a creative subject. So you have to use both your sides of your brain. You have to read the literature and you have to know the lore. And so you can make the comparisons. Now, if it could be, I don't think there's anything, in true honesty, that 40k could actually beat. We're told that they could beat everything because that's what people are told. That's what people say. 40k could beat everything. But I've yet to see anything that 40k could beat. Anyway, that's just my thoughts for today. There's a couple of other videos like this today. I've just coming this week. And I hope to see you all again soon. And thank you on this. And I'll speak to you soon. Links to Wayland games down below if you want to save money on your Warhammer, of course, as always, down below. But if you want to try some other games, which I always recommend, also as well, go there. There is my comics, my merchandise, and Forbidden Planet if you like comics. Get the Gears of War one. It is really good. I think they have it. They usually do. But if you can, go to Forbidden Planet. Get the Gears of War graphic novel by Craven Travis. It's very good if they have it. You won't be let down. It's fantastic. And of course, there's Patreon. But as always with my Patreon, treat yourself to something nice first. Rather than just giving money, I'd rather you do that. And we'll see you soon. Bye bye.